Hello students and welcome back to another online lecture of the online lecture series initiated by Shet Vidya Mandir High School and Junior College of Science and Commerce, Vasai. I am Mrs. Snehal Falkau. Dear students, suppose you are in a class and the teacher is teaching a very important concept. It is difficult for us to remember everything taught in the class in the same order. Also, when someone is delivering a speech and you have to summarize the speech later, it becomes difficult for you to remember the entire speech later. Also, in our daily lives, it is not possible to memorize everything. To overcome this difficulty, one notes down important concepts and points. These notes help us in the time of need. This is called note-taking. Students, you all are aware what note-taking is. But do you know what is note-making? The noting down of useful concepts and points, that is, note-taking, forms the basis of note-making. In today's video, we will study what is note-making and its formats. Before we proceed to learn what is note-making, let us also take a quick look at note-taking. Though they seem almost the same, both the skills, that is, note-taking and note-making, are totally different. Note-taking is a passive process which is undertaken during lectures. Note-taking at a glance gives a complete view of a paragraph or any content which contains the main points and supporting details of what is heard during lectures or during a speech. Whereas note-making is a more active and a focused writing skill where a concrete connection between all relevant concepts and words is drawn to infuse or connect all thoughts together by a method or a format, for example, points, tree diagram, or a table, etc. Note-making is a way of recording important details from a source. This source can be any book, article, meeting, or any oral discussion. In note-making, the writer records the essence of the information. It helps us to understand and clarify thinking. Note-making saves a lot of time by going through the notes made. One can get a glimpse of a lot of information from a short note. A note-making skill can be improved by practice. There are some advantages of note-making. Let us get to know some of them. Firstly, it has great importance in exams or in academic writing. It is an organization of main points for future use. Note-making helps in keeping the information handy whenever we require. It helps in recollecting and recalling the past events said or heard. It helps in concentrating, understanding, and provides a permanent record. Note-making format helps a writer to go through bulky documents quicker. It helps in understanding a material if the notes are in own words. And lastly, it distinguishes between main points and details. There are a few similarities between note-taking and note-making. Firstly, both provide the students with material for easy reference, preparation, and study during an examination. Both aid, that is, help the students in remembering facts easier as it utilizes both reading and listening senses. Both have the same purpose, that is, for the students to excel in their studies. And lastly, both help the students to concentrate better and effectively. However, there are certain differences between note-taking and note-making. Let us distinguish between both. Note-taking is only jotting down points and involves no sight interpretation, whereas note-making helps student to see each point clearly along with its link or connection with each other. Very little changes are required in note-taking, whereas it is easier to change the notes made in note-making. Note-taking is taking points from one source at a time. Note-making involves the taking of points from different sources. Note-taking requires less understanding. In comparison to note-taking, note-making requires more understanding. In note-taking, points or notes are written in full form. Points given by sources are taken directly, whereas note-making is often in short form. Note-taking only gives the early configuration for the whole topic. Note-making helps the students in capturing its main key. In note-taking, notes are made from sources. They are handmade since the time available is limited. In note-making, notes are constructed by the learner themselves in handmade or in computer type form. The procedure of note-making. The following is the process that needs to be followed while making notes. Firstly, read the passage provided. Underline the important sentences. It helps to make headings and subheadings. Make a rough note first so as to get an idea. Organize them in a logical order or sequence for the final note. Use the appropriate note-making format. Do not change the idea or the message of the passage. Important points to remember for note-making format. Firstly, avoid using long sentences as heading or title. Never lose the main idea of the passage. Ignore information which is less important. Be brief, clear, and specific. Use logical sequencing. Leave no spaces to avoid confusion. Do not include your own version or understandings. Try to use abbreviations. And lastly, make your note more memorable by adding colors, drawings, and symbols. Now we shall see the different styles or formats of note-making. Firstly, we can use a table as a format for note-making. That is, the information can be tabulated. Next, we have charts, and in this we can have bar charts or pie charts or flow charts. A line graph can also be used as a format of note-making. Tree diagrams. Pictogram can also be used as a format of note-making. A pictogram is an ideogram that conveys its meaning through its pictorial resemblance to a physical object. And maps and plans can also be used as a format of note-making. So, these were the various formats of note-making that can be used while making notes. However, in the 12th standard board exam, you will be given an extract for note-making. You will not be required to make a note-making format on your own. Instead, a format will be given which will be incomplete, and you will have to complete it with points and information from the given extract. So, an extract of this sort will be provided, which will be followed by a note-making format. This can be either a table or a pie chart or a line graph, etc. etc. All you need to do is complete the table or whatever format by adding details and information from the extract. That's all about note making. Thank you.